Hey, finally, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. It's been a little while since I've played this game. As those of you who are following it will know, there's been a lot going on, and there were other things that I wanted to do as well. So if you've noticed on the channel, I've actually been re-uploading some of the past videos, but cut down slightly. So um, hopefully you get a better idea from those of what I've been doing in Pillars of Eternity. But now it's time to get back into this, back into the story. You'll have to
Certainly.
excuse my potential confusion for the first little bit here while I just get used to the buttons and stuff. Um, and also recap on what we need to do because we had quite a lot of quests happening when we last played this. We've got the Hermit of Hadrat House. We have to go to Dunrid Row. We've been invited there by Lady Webb, who's quite mysterious by the sounds of it. I don't know why she knows about us, but that's something that we need to go and do. I'm imagining that that's not going to end well. We also need to do Through Death's Gate, which I actually saw through a vision showing me mysterious ruins somewhere outside of Deerford. The Leaden Key, that's the kind of secret society, I guess, that we met at the beginning, has sent operatives to find the site, though their purpose is unknown to me. Also, I'm thinking, probably going to end in attack. And Undying Heritage. So, an acolyte showed me a vision of an ancient tower in a derelict district of Defiance Bay, and there was a strange man in that tower working on a kind of machine. Also, a woman with a scar over her heart. We don't know who that is. And the Leaden Key was interested in that tower, which probably means it's also bad and we're probably also going to be attacked. Now, there are also all of these all of which I do actually also want to do because I want to know all of the potential routes, all of the secrets that are to be found in Pillars of Eternity. We also have the keep under construction. The last time we looked at the keep, we were there to start some building work. So hopefully the next time we go there, it's going to look a little bit improved at least. But first of all, before we leave this area again, I'm hopefully going to have some more money from doing quests, or just from maybe not from actually doing the quest because I don't think anything here pays that well, but from at least picking up stuff that we can sell from the quests. And then we can upgrade the keep again. So the decision now is which of the quests should we do? I think we're going to go and see what Lady Webb wants. This reclusive Lady Webb. Let's check the map before we run away, because I think it's just down here. Or was it? Okay, I'm being stupid. I need to go to Hadrat's house. That's where I need to be. Oh. I was not expecting that. An older robed man. As you near the apparition, you're overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that sits like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real, the recollection of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. It wrenches your insides, nevertheless. The apparition's brow is tensed, a look of concern plain across its face.
The other missionaries say you have been neglectful of your duties.
Excuse me? Well, I'm not going to say they're lying because I don't know who they are. My mind has been elsewhere.
And what troubles you?
I wish to leave the Order is the only option here. But the pain in my stomach deepens and I feel for a moment as though I'm about to be sick. My mouth has gone dry because he's quite a threatening presence. This is not going to work. He's not just going to let me leave. The man folds his fingers together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful.
You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
The people we intended to convert, they committed unspeakable acts, sacrifices, mutilations. My family has not taken my new faith well. They no longer speak to me. I've done something unforgivable, or we were attacked on my last mission. That would be a bit A bit unfair. I think the most obvious issue is the unspeakable acts thing. The apparition exhales slowly and its lips press together, a sympathetic rapport in its eyes. It places its hand on your shoulder. Oh no, don't do that.
These are the ways of the heathen world.
What? The only thing I can say is surely the gods would do better to destroy us all and start anew. I don't think that. I don't want the gods to destroy us all and start anew. But okay.
Perhaps they would. It may come to that one day. This is why we must not fail. The heathens are beyond the gods' reach. They do not know better. We are tasked with delivering them to the gods, so that the gods may heal their souls.
Well, is such a thing possible?
I have seen it with my own eyes. You will see it too, if you choose to remain. There is no greater calling than the one we have chosen. Neither words, nor wealth, nor battle will end this suffering. Only the gods. Will you give them that chance?
We can't choose. I can only say I will. The knot in your stomach seems to loosen all at once, and the anxiety is replaced with something else entirely, something warm and soothing, and it is something you know you can never repay. As the vision fades, you start to become cognizant of the many odd looks aimed in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. Oh, okay, it's because this has already been said. That's why there's only one option. Well, that was strange. And unpleasant. What caused that to happen? And who is this? She looks interesting. Kind of, yeah. Let's have a look. See a woman, dark skin taut with worry, moving aft, the scales and the rigging. Oh, actually, maybe the reason that looked familiar is because I've actually done that before. Okay. Now, that was very distracting, but we were trying to find Hadret's house. Which I actually think... I think I might have been right. That's the sanitarium. I've already been in there. Do I need to go up the steps? Who are you? Okay, let's have a quick look. There's a rocky clearing overgrown with weeds. There's a body by the wall. The body belongs to an elf face down in the dirt. His clothes are torn and ragged. The elf twitches, a muffled cry escaping his lips, blowing dust around his head. He begins to moan, his hands scrabbling against the ground, fending off something you're unable to see. Ooh. With a final sound of swallowed scream, his eyes fly open. In an instant, he's on his feet, crouching, eyes wildly looking around. His breathing doesn't slow, and every exhalation is a groan. With one last look over his shoulder, the elf runs into the embrace of the crumbling wall shadow, all but disappearing into the gloom. Looking down at his present condition, he murmurs, "I don't see how someone who so clearly screws his own livestock can be so sensitive about it." That was a twist. Step back from that. Oh, there! Hadret House! Right. That was, silly of me. Let's actually just go there a bit quicker. Because I don't think anything... Well, probably nothing else dramatic's going to happen on my way down here. Unlikely to have two dramatic visions in one day. What is going to happen in here? You never know. Maybe she'll be a friendly, mysterious lady. This is fancy, but very red. And all of the red seems kind of foreboding. Who are you? Dunred agent. Curran's wasting his time with those disappearances. Lady Webb is in charge of Hadrit House, but she rarely deals with anyone personally. Well, she wants to deal with me, so where is she? In here? In this big fancy room with a huge map? Okay, I want to talk to everybody here. Let's start with you.
Welcome!
The Orlan man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end, and his ears pick up as you approach. You carry whispers. Oh, yes, you're right. Okay, what is he? Why can you tell this? How did you know? What are you talking about? Or you must be mistaken. I'm going to be honest. How did you know? The Orlan grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients. Okay. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downward. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dunrid Row? I was invited here by Lady Webb. Or I can be nosy, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to answer his question. Curran cocks his head to one side as if trying to get a better look at you. Forgive me, she doesn't take many visitors, but the ones she does invite are a fascinating lot. I've always marvelled at her choices. Nothing in common to my eyes, but her sight is far keener than mine. I wonder what it is she sees. That's slightly rude of you, Curran. Maybe I'm just excellent. Her room is upstairs, the one with the guards out front. The city may not understand her value, but the Duke certainly does. Okay, so that means that he wants her dead then? That's already intriguing. What are you so busy with? His small furry hands gesture expansively at the papers before him. Hollowborn, growing unrest, and the ever-present political intrigues. With so many missing souls, missing persons are the least of our concerns these days. Ooh. Okay, so these people are looking for missing people. Tell me more about your skills. I check for soul connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly when people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher in Erglanfathwy, once known as Brishelgwyn, I assume you pronounce that, Mind Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until the Animancers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Okay. Now we make some of the best detectives in the world. Tracing souls, we can look at a person and see where they have been, or look at a weapon and see who has touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you. Useful for solving crimes, as you can imagine. Definitely. Right, well, I need to be upstairs. It's kind of messy up here. There's a lot of paper everywhere. I guess this way? Probably. Yep, there are the guards. Lady Webb will see you now. How did you know who I was? Lady Webb has an enormous desk. This woman clutches a thick stack of parchment with spindly, wrinkled fingers, their flesh stretched thin to near translucence with extreme age, a gossamer veil over pale blue veins. Ink splotches and candle burns dot and stripe her hands, like a quilt patterned after some great, indescribable truth. See, this is one of the things that I really love about Pillars of Eternity. In what other game do you get a description that lovely? She does not look up from her reading. I like Lady Webb already.
So the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Cad Noir. Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
Okay, maybe she's a bit snooty. Alof frowns, scratching the back of his neck. So it's true. Those spies of hers don't miss much.
And this fiasco in the sanitarium that you seem to have gotten yourself into the middle of. What in blazes possessed you to stir that nest of trouble?
That's a good point. That was a whole situation. There's someone I need to find. I'm investigating a strange group, or it was a personal matter. How careful do I need to be with Lady Webb? She seems to already know quite a lot of things. But then again, the Duke is evil, clearly, and if she is disliked by the Duke, then maybe that means she's good? There's someone I need to find.
Not just any someone, though. Someone in the service of the Leaden Key.
See, she already knew. She would have known I was lying.
You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the Leaden Key?
Oh, so maybe we can team up with Lady Webb. 3 options. One of them is a lie. I was hired to investigate them. Otherwise, one of their members caused my soul to awaken. I need him to reverse it. Or I ran across a man in one of the ruins. It's important that I find him again. I mean, both of these are true, right? This is the more specific truth, so let's just be honest with her. She closes her eyes, and the lids flicker. Then her face goes still and her mouth parts, little more than a sliver, and her hand briefly drops open, spilling some of her parchment to the ground, the pages wafting around her legs like the leaves of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peel back, and her gaze is immediately upon you. That was a bit scary.
The gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. One of the most elusive and dangerous men Eora has ever known.
Oh, okay, she is actually going to be useful, isn't she? How do you know I seek Theos? What can you tell me about Theos? What else is there to know about the Leading Key? Um, I think we're going to be allowed to ask all of these, so I'm going to start with how do you know?
Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it.
Oh,
You even happened to catch him in his ceremonial garb, it seems. It must have been a special occasion.
it did seem like an unusual one, yeah. What can you tell me about him?
More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true.
Hmm.
The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it.
Well, he's rather old then.
What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Woodica's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism.
Yeah, not the natural order of things. Seems like a bit of an understatement here.
That may also explain another supposed gift of his. His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others, if their souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity.
Are we sure we want to find this man?
He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a driven, single-minded man. He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
Hmm. Yeah, I was starting to get that impression. What else is there to know about the leaden key?
Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other members. They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in, or sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know. If you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal.
That's a very good point, yes.
Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary. And he does not fail.
So, what do you want from me?
Keep me informed. The leaden key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you.
Oh, it's done read, not done read. Okay. So you're not actually going to help me, or just not going to hinder me from from finding out this information? Maybe follow me a bit.
Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can.
That sounds fair. Good deal. Very well.
If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
Excellent. So this is actually quite good story progress. There is something I can tell you about the Leaden Keys
Well,
operations.
let's hear it.
I found Theos in Brackenbury Sanitarium impersonating a patient. He was trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me, it is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious.
As she said that, the corner of her mouth perked.
He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it?
No.
Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
Okay. So I'm supposed to take heart from that, am I?
This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it.
Hmm.
But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale.
This is becoming intriguing.
If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
Okay. So we need to gather more evidence on the Leaden Key. What else can I ask her?
Yes?
Um, I'd like to know more about Dunreed Row.
All the things there are to know in this world, and you ask me about work. Deerwood is a rebel country. Conflict is in its blood. If you think a few guards posted in our cities keep chaos at bay, you are very new to town indeed.
I am very new to town, but that was kind of my impression. These people are obviously a kind of like secret police.
We are Deerwood cipher investigators, of course. But what we really are is its last barrier against anarchy. People are more at ease when they believe they are watched over by someone more enlightened than they are. It pacifies them. So that is the image we foster. And we do try to be enlightened for their sake. The knowledge we gather here is Deerwood's standing army in many ways. We learn what's vital and we act on it while Deerwood sleeps, blissfully unaware of the terrifying truths all around them. I wish I could tell people the things I know sometimes, but the truth is I don't think many of them could bear it.
Wow. Whoever wrote this part is really, really good. Um, all of these are kind of just nosy, so I'm happy to leave that there. And for now, say farewell.
Try your best not to die out there.
I will. Thanks for that. Okay, now we don't have any activities currently to inform her about, so let's leave the house for now. That wasn't as dramatic as I feared it might be. I thought she might be another person telling me to back off from the investigation into the lead and key, but she's actually kind of at least on my side. We could go to the ruins outside Deerford. The lead and key has operatives at the site, and if we find out what their purpose is, we could report that back to her. Are we ready for that? One of the things that we can do before we leave this area is this quest for Adea, who wanted to travel with me, but also mainly wanted to see the records archive, which I think is over here in Fast Fires. Before we go out of here to do the next lead and key quest, I do kind of want to finish off some stuff in this area. See if we can possibly level up a bit, because I'm not sure how difficult that next part will be. And also, as I said, make some money as well. Yeah, 15 minutes sounds good. I think it's here. In the palace. It should be in the palace.
Adair.
Wait a second, these people have names. Okay. I'm not going to do this to all of them, but maybe just one. You see a dwarf, matted beard slick with rain and dirt. His teeth are gritted in the wind, cloak drawn close. He walks in formation with 21 others, all bearing the same insignia, a mercenary company. Oh dear, okay, I'm going to skim this a little. They're in a place where the ceiling has partially caved in, and something about the too perfect door causes the party to stop. The all embarks them agitated. The mercenaries form a tight circle. Something is amiss. Then hooves, gunfire. They have been betrayed. The fight is fast and efficient. Mercenary blood stains the cobblestone streets as the soldiers round up those remaining. A horse rears out of nowhere, kicking the dwarf in the side of the head. He falls instantly, blood seeping from his ear. The soldiers leave the mess, uncaring, their orders completed. Night falls and bodies stiffen. Rain has all but washed the street clean as the dwarf slits open an eye, groaning. He staggers to his feet, hand on his head. He leaves his cloak on the ground, insignia greeting the sky, and slowly walks away. Well, he had a really interesting history. Okay, just this one, then, since maybe he's connected. I see a boy sneak up the ramp of a giant black-sailed ship, a smile so wide it almost cracks his wind-whipped cheeks. The ship is almost empty, crew out drinking and celebrating their latest haul. The boy easily evades the drunken guards, playing cards on the upper decks, trading stories of conquest the boy doesn't yet understand, and runs down the stairs to the decks below. The ship is silent below as he explores, just the gentle lap of the ocean against the hull and the muffled sound of excited feet running between boxes, stopping at each to peek inside. Another pair of footsteps and the boy jumps, hiding behind a collection of sacks. The footsteps disappear eventually, but the boy is asleep, and the ship roars into life as her drunken crew make a breakneck escape with an accidental stowaway. Okay, another really interesting history. I wonder whether I'll see them later. Oh, this is the place where I guess the trials must be sorted as well, the palace. Okay, we need Chancellor Warren at the Hall of Records. Do you know where Chancellor Warren is? The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? No, I'm not, but just give me some information anyway. What is the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admeth Hadret declared freedom from... Oh. Hadret. The woman that we just went to see was Hadret, was she not? At Hadret House? Interesting. Um, Freedom from Adherent rule some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Can't say that. Deerwood politics. It changes too quickly to be worth keeping up with. Better to strike up conversation in the taverns than try to loiter inconspicuously in the palace corridors. Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and his advisors. The pay is not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. Okay. Tell me about the current Duke. That would be Avar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Avar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. Okay, what goes on in here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for a favour. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. Okay, but if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magran, official records, and chambers for public hearings and council meetings. Okay, that was an option that I did actually need. I wonder whether she might be useful later if we need some kind of inside information. Maybe I can get her to tell us things. The records room is where I need to go, so if I ask this, will she tell me where they are? What kind of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff. Census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now, I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. Okay, one last nosy question because they were talking about this outside. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar's been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is terribly secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away. She sniffs, but a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. What's legacy? Waidwin's legacy. That's what a lot of the people call the rash of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. Why is animancy so controversial? Let's get her opinion on this. She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky, but the more progressive elements believe it's only our shot at restoring healthy births. It's our only shot, at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old Egwithan relics that were illegally looted from the ruins of Erglanfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. Okay, like snatched. Right. I see. No, there's nothing else that I really want to ask you right now. You were very conspicuously just in the middle of the corridor, considering you weren't actually that helpful. Where's records likely to be? Can I ask one of you? No. Okay, let's just go and have a look around. What's in here? Who are you?
Hail and well met.
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at the statue near her. Oh, this is the shrine. She notices you and forces a smile. Praise be to Magran, and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? You seem upset. What's wrong? Her shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? She puts a hand on your shoulder. They're just symbols. You can't put your faith in them. What? I mean, I can use my perception to say only symbols. Is that why you're so distressed? But I also kind of want to know what fires. Let's use our perception. No, She sighs with a hiss like a release of steam. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure them for months now. And people need to see them more than ever these days. Oh, okay, well that kind of answered my question as well. So go light them again. I see plenty of flames here. They don't work that way, they're holy fires. It's my devotions and prayers that keep them lit. But lately, when I try to pray, all I can think about are the hollowborn all over the city, the grieving families, the refugees. She shakes her head. How could Magrin allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? Durrance grunts with disdain. What strength do we gain from adversity? From trial and test? The fires don't wither because she lacks in faith. They wither because she does not understand how to be faithful to a whore. Wow, Durrance, that's kind of offensive. A whore wants neither praise nor devotion. A whore wants to be compensated for her services, and Magrin is paid and pleasured in sweat and struggle and pain. This mewling imbecile is unworthy of Magrin's womanly heat. And this has shaken your faith. Or take heart and don't abandon your faith so easily. Okay, let's just ask her, and this has shaken your faith? She nods, running her hands through her hair. But I believe Magrin may be speaking to me again. She frowns and casts a quick glance in your direction. Lately I've been seeing visions. A place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of colour. Strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash into the earth. She raises her hands as if framing an image of her vision. And behind the falls is a cave filled with fire and heat and danger, and some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I'd get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest, though, I don't know what I'd do even if I found the place. Durance again. Huh, worthless, like so many of Magrin's flock, afraid of her god's tests. If Magrin speaks to her, it is to hasten an end to a hypocrite's life, and this vision is surely a death trap for the weak. Durance is really harsh. What's the significance of the sacred pyres? They symbolize Megwyn's power and guidance, and right now the people of Defiance Bay need to be assured of her presence. She crosses her arms, staring at the statue. Our neighbours in the valley, Valen republics, see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. Okay, I don't particularly need to know this, I don't think, but let's just see what she has to say. Magrin is the most revered goddess among us dear Woodens, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the ducal palace. Her fires symbolize trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. She gestures to the statue. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. Okay, so when I was saying that I kind of wanted to light this place, that is actually a thing. And the next part of that quest would be to travel to the cave from Firga's vision. I have absolutely no idea where that might be because I haven't traveled enough yet, so that might be a far future quest. Now, can I see anything obvious that looks like it might be a records room? That looks like it's a throne room. Perhaps up here? There's some nobles standing over there. Actually, I discovered a location, Hall of Records. Yes, we found it. Marshall, yeah. Wait, was it Marshall Foran we needed to see? I think it was actually Chancellor Warren, wasn't it? Thank you for coming, Haley. I've been trying to track you down for some time. Have you? This is Marshal Foran, Al Bademar's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit you've created a bit of a stir through the nobility with your reclamation of Kednua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. What's this about? The legitimacy of your claim to Kednua is in question. Al Badmar has issued a ruling on the matter. Oh, seriously? I trust the Al to make fair judgment. Kednua was abandoned for over a century, and I've claimed the land through strength of arms. My claim is legitimate. Kednua is mine. Any who challenge my claim will face my wrath, or... I see. Kednua was abandoned for over a century. This is definitely a legitimate claim. If there were no other claimant, you would be correct. Unfortunately, this is not the case. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? Yes, I have many questions for you, and some statements like you're definitely not taking my keep away from me. What do you know of Gathbin? While I've met him but once, it was ample time to determine the character of Lord Arladar Gathbin, or lack thereof. Okay, great. So he's not a good person. He's descended from an old Aediran line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Runnig Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from Deerwood. Yenwood? When the Deerwood was a mere colony of Aedir, it was divided into 9 earldoms. When the Aedirans were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. Okay. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements such as New Homar, Gieran's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and of course Kednua. Oh, I see why he thinks he owns it in that case. I have other questions. Do you know which way Earl Badmar has ruled? Or Baedmar? Might be Baedmar, actually. I'm sorry, my lord, I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. Don't know why you're calling me my lord. Okay. What was that about Road Warden? The one who rules Kednua on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. Your position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. The Marshal nods and smiles. Okay, I like the Marshal. I feel like the Marshal's on our side. Tell me about the Earl. He comes from an esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence in the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. And we already know that bit. They are in charge of the Grasp. As to the current Baedmar, he's as fine a man as I know. It's an honor to serve him. Tell me a bit more about the Grasp. Maybe if I learn as much as possible, I'm more likely to be able to talk my way out of future issues. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms. Okay. I already know that. I don't have any more questions. Your timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathbin now. He walked through my antelope. An opulently dressed man strides towards the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in a light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the hall. An elven woman with cropped hair, dressed in dark, glinting mail, shadows his steps before taking position alongside him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I've other matters to attend to. It's well known that Kednua belongs to me, by right. I don't like this man. And where is this pretender? Show me the fool that thinks to steal my land. Where is this low-born wretch? Warren clears his throat and glances at you. This woman here? This is the Lady of Kednua? I thought she was just another servant. Perhaps a valet or a scullery maid. Okay, if I was an aristocrat, I would have a different option. I can either raise my hand and say, everyone who owns their own keep, raise a hand. Go on. Don't be shy. Or can we get on with this, please? Okay, how sassy do I want to be? We'll be as polite as we can. Can we get on with this, please? Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of the Gathbin claim on Kednua, Earl Baedmar finds that the Gathbin claim was never relinquished. By law, Kednua is the rightful property of the Gathbin family. Well, I knew it. Gathbin smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not finished reading, my lord. Yes. You go, Warren. Gathbin rolls his eyes and motions for the Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes Haley's part in reclaiming Kednua, a site that has stood abandoned and even, some would say, cursed for over a century. Before Kednua is returned to the Gathbin family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gathbin will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not. Gathbin folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord, Warren raises his eyebrows. The amount is quite reasonable, and a requirement for your land to be returned to you. If you'll just allow me to finish. I'll not pay a single copper to this miscreant for my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with this insult. I have a message you can send that son of a whore. Gathbin raises an open hand as the Chancellor shrinks from him, arms raised in defense. Wow, Gathbin is really horrible. Oh, I can punch Gathbin? Grab his arm, shout enough, or do nothing. I'm so tempted to punch him, but I feel like that's not in keeping with the character we've created so far, so I'm going to grab his arm. Keep your hands off me, you peasant. Gathbin yanks his arm free of your hand and steps back. The elven woman deftly draws a pistol from her thick leather belt. Her eyes widen in anticipation. My lord, my lady, please, there's no need for further violence. Lord Gathbin holds your gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine. Count on it. Come, Captain Emery, we're leaving. Okay, so that's the elf woman. He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. Okay, made new enemies. Well, I can't say that Gathbin's reaction was entirely unexpected. Through no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy. I've dealt with much worse or seem a little upset, didn't he? Yeah, this one. I've heard he's always been vicious, even as a boy, and he can hold a grudge for a very long time. In any case, Caednua now officially belongs to you, since Lord Gathbin has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter, which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Wow, okay, that's cool. Here, this belonged to one of the old lords of Caednua. By right, it's yours now. I wonder whether this is going to help me to get into that bottom bit of Caednua. Okay. Tell Gathbin if I catch him or any of his people on my land, they'll be executed. Or please extend an invitation to Lord Gathbin to feast with me within the halls of Caednua. There's no need for us to be enemies. Yes, kill him with kindness. That is a generous offer, and I'll make sure it reaches Lord Gathbin. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, milady. Warren bows. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, Haley. The Marshal nods at you and leaves. Okay, I like these two people. These two people were friendly and definitely don't like my enemy. Task completed on that one. But now we need to look for the thing that Adir needs. Taxes collected. Oh, I lost nearly all of the taxes I collected to bandits. We need to do something about that. We need some defenses up. The doughty burglar, that's not going to be helpful. What's this one? That's also okay. What's in here? Excerpts from the Sermon of Struggle and those lost in the flood. What's this one? Never expected to see a massacre such as this in my lifetime. I was in my study trying to pack up important documents for the evacuation, never dreaming the Adirans would act so drastically. Oh, okay. Oh dear. This is a tragedy that happened, a flood. Excerpts from the Sermon of Struggle. Now, right, let's quickly check what I needed to do here. Adir has agreed to travel with me. Travel with Adir to the Records Archive. Now that is this place, isn't it? So what else can I do here?
Hail,
Talk to the
traveler.
Records Keeper. A taciturn man with greying hair pores over a tome he's just withdrawn from one of the shelves. He glances up at you with baggy eyes. Yes, is there something I can pull for you? Ah, the perfect, yes. I'm looking for militia records from the time of the Saints' War, trying to find out what happened to someone. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we've had to bar access to the public. Seems there are still quite a number of folk in Deerwood who bear ill will towards recurrence. Oh, I see. It would be irresponsible to surrender their names to just anyone. Many came to settle here as refugees. Perhaps if you were more established in Defiance Bay, things would be different, but I have no reason to suspect you to be any different from the others. There is something peculiar about the record keeper's inflection. The differences are subtle, but it does not sound like any native Deerwooden you've heard. Interesting. That was my perception. I could tell that from. I don't have resolve or might, so I can only say we've come a long way. Adair says, I just need to find out about my brother. I don't even know what side he fought for. You must understand I've heard many such stories. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for you. Okay, right, so we're too early to do this. We need to establish our good name a bit more in the area. I wonder whether there's anything we've currently got on our quest list that might help with that. Travel to the cave definitely won't. Nadine, an animancer I met in front of the Brackenbury Sanitarium, told me of the Elder Archives and the rare manuscripts they contain, including one by an animancer named Pangram. She needs the theorems of Pangram to continue her research, but the archivists won't give her access. So I can go to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries in Copper Lane and see if I can get access. Let's see if that helps. I don't think they're like particularly well respected, well thought of, but every little helps, right? Let's just help out some people. I need to get back to Copper Lane, which is over here. 15 minutes later, here we are back in Copper Lane. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries, that's where we need to go. These people are probably just going to tell me no as well. Just going to experience a lot of rejection today.
Welcome.
Grimda, an elderly dwarf, surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as tough and wrinkled as a walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You're welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. She shoots the nearest robed figure a withering glare. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. She's kind of harsh. What are they looking for? Maybe I could find it. An animancer named Nadine asked me to retrieve the theorems of Pandagram from the Elder Archives. What are they looking for? Maybe I could help to find it. She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose. She scowls at the robed priest again, who certainly couldn't do worse than this lot anyway. Thieves made off with an ancient scroll of Whale. They intend to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of the 100 Visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and the road to Deerford. Okay. Track the thieves down. I don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Whale rewards the persistent seeker, and so do I. An ancient scroll of Whale? There's a fine prize. I mean, a worthy task. What else do you need? Okay, now let's ask for the favour. Grimda's impressive frown deepens. Thank you for letting me know. I'll be sure to tuck that tome away from prying eyes and see that this Nadine never sets foot in here again. In the meantime, here, a token of our appreciation. What? Oh. I was supposed to steal it, wasn't I? Oops. Is this what we wanted, to see her barred entirely? It seems a fearsome price to pay. Knowledge dangled just out of reach makes a tempting prize for any soul. No, it's not what we wanted, Kana. I just wanted her to tell me where the book was. Well, I've completed that quest, but not in the way that I would have liked to. I'm sorry I didn't get to help her find the book. Then again, maybe her research wouldn't have been a good thing. You never know. We still have this to finish. Rowena. We met Dalton, a retired adventurer, in Copper Lane. He's been hearing the voice of Rowena, his lover who died almost 60 years ago. In his dreams, she wanders the catacombs beneath the city. He's asked me to venture down there and search for her. So we did do that. That's why we ended up in the sanitarium in the first place. But I need to retrieve Helig's research from Modred's laboratory. And that is also going to require some theft. Although I do have this one. Ostrich has asked me to retrieve a breastplate from Penhelm. He believes his rival might have forged a document from Dunreed Row, verifying the purity of his soul. If I can prove Penhelm's forgery, I may have some leverage to get the breastplate back. Oh, I had heard of Dunreed Row, actually, earlier. I remember this now. But I didn't know what they were. Okay. Back to Fast Fires. And we'll try to do this one to get some justice. Because the reason we started this quest is because this person that we're going to find now, hopefully, snitched on somebody's beliefs and got them kicked out. I'm imagining that he's not going to be too happy about being confronted about his potential forgery. So we might end up having to fight someone here.
Gods keep you.
Albar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more from the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Keeps us busy on the watch, it does. You look like you're recently arrived yourself. Who are you? Soldier of the Crucible Knights and proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep, so the commander, Cleaver, can focus on more important matters. Okay, I don't care about you. I want to find... Let's double check his name so we're not looking for the wrong person. Penhelm. Looking for Penhelm. One of these rooms does sound busy. But I can't work out where. That looks like it's the kitchen. This place is massive. What's everyone doing in here? Fighting. Wheeler. Okay, let's see if you've got anything to say. Sorry, I just walked over your sand. The Justicia's gaze flicks over you briefly before returning to the novitiates gathered in the training area. If this is about patrols, my novitiates are already stretched to their limit. Between the refugee influx and the mess at Heritage Hill, I simply don't have any units to spare. After a pause, she looks over at you again. I'm sorry, was there something else you need? Is there something wrong at Heritage Hill? She lowers her voice. What isn't wrong is the real question. A whole district of walking, flesh-eating corpses. We sealed the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there. And yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumours about the place floating around the keep, without my soldiers whispering about these disappearances. She shakes her head. I'd just as soon abandon the district, but if those monsters should find a way out... I could look into it. She steps back and regards you. After what I've just told you, you want to go to Heritage Hill? I've lost trained soldiers there. Why should I let anyone in? If people are disappearing, someone's got to figure out what's happening to them. You've got nothing to lose. Your trained knights have nothing on me. Just seems like you could use the help, or what's the harm in letting me try? You've got nothing to lose. If you're so eager to rush to your death, I won't stop you. She quietly looks on at the novitiates. And if you're somehow able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. I'll send word to the guards at the gate. Okay, excellent. New quest. Tell me a bit more about it first. It used to be one of the most prestigious districts in Defiance Bay, but a few months ago, the residents all went mad, started eating each other, and anything else that had the bad luck to wander into the district. I've never seen anything like it. Now every novitiate that stands guard there, everyone that comes back anyway, talks of the stench of the grave and the groans of unspeakable horrors. She holds up one plate-clad finger. The why and the how are questions for the animancers. I've sealed the district in hopes of containing whatever happened there. It seems to be working. For now. Okay. That's going to be an interesting quest. I guess none of you are going to be... Aha!
Hail, traveler.
The young novitiate's armor is recently shined, and his hair is clean and neatly combed. It's hard to believe he's ever seen battle, or that the scarred antique breastplate he wears could possibly be his. That's because it's not. Are you looking for something? Does the name Othric sound familiar? He sniffs. If you've got any self-respect, you won't associate with him, or with any of his new friends at the Expedition Hall for that matter. Scamps and delinquents, the lot of them. What's the story between you two? Or is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. He looks down and admires it. It became property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine. And it's not for sale, if that's what you're wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. He says your affidavit is a forgery. Just what would he know about that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspersions, what with his pedigree in the Knights. He folds his arms. He blinks at you. It's a lie, of course. I don't think it is, Penhelm. What's the story between you two? Osric has always held some controversial opinions, but they went overlooked for the longest time because his family has such an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He frowns and crosses his arms. He finally went too far. He had the gall to suggest that we had strayed too far from our roots, that some of our officers were beginning to resemble Eardy nobility. He rubs a spot on his bracer with a silk handkerchief, thus proving his point. He would have us all wear rough spun and fight with forge hammers. I merely reported his statements. Okay, we can say I don't see the problem, which is not true. We can say if the Knights obsessed over their past, they wouldn't have grown into the fighting force they are today, or that history made the Knights what they are now. You can't just cast it aside. Yes, we've outgrown that past. He waves a shining gauntlet. Sometimes you need to move on. Sagani frowns. Outgrown it like an old sealskin coat? You adapt with the times, sure, but that's a bit naive. Okay, enough about Osric. On that we can agree. Farewell. Okay, we've now got... Find Penhelm's Advocate at Crucible Keep. Now, where might that be? What's in here? Ugh, thick grime cakes the bottom of the tub. The towel hanging from the side gives off an awful stench. That's disgusting. Now, who was my good lockpicker? Your job, then. Let's wait for that guard to come back in. And it would help if I had any kind of clue as to which one of these beds might belong to him. Oh, is it worth a risk doing it before the guard comes back? I don't know what kind of rotation it's on.
A simple test.
Let's go for it.
That's settled.
A fine breastplate, hooded turban, no.
That's settled.
Gold of prayer against infirmity and gold and opal. I'm not actually going to steal from these people. I just want to find...
Settled.
Oh, level up. Potion, copper.
A simple test. A simple test.
No. Ah. It's too difficult. Oh, no. No. Oh, wait, it's not. Lockpick difficulty's fine. It's just like because I don't have any lockpicks. No. Maybe it's not even in there, to be honest. But if it just happened to be in the last one, that would be really frustrating.
I'm here.
Nothing to see here. Well, we obviously need some more lockpicks. What is this office? This is a record of the active patrols reported. Oh, I bet it was in here. Ah.
A simple test. That's settled.
No, it wasn't in there. That was just a hat. It can't be that... Aha, edict of arrest. What's this? This edict calls for the arrest of Eon, whose recent actions have led to the death of the Knight of the Crucible. Requests reporting any information to Justice Aldmar. Commander Cleaver. Eon. Why does Eon sound familiar? Okay. I really thought I had it then. Yes! Curran, a cipher duly appointed and employed by Dunreed Road, is hereby certify that A.M. Penhelm has been found to have a soul free of any subversive influence or tainted essence. Take. It did not need to just sneakily unlock everybody's stuff in that case, but never mind. They'll never know. I didn't take anything. It's nighttime already. I should go to sleep after this. Let's go and hand this in. Let's go bring the good news. Have I been attacked? I have. An assassin? I bet this is that horrible lord.
I'm here.
Well, he's about to have regrets because you're going to do wounding shot. You can just directly attack him. So can you, actually.
Ready,
You also
Watcher.
have range, don't you? So, where is she? She's right at the back. She can move up here. And also wounding shot. Durance needs to stay where he is,
Hey.
and you can go knock him down. Yes. What? Why are there suddenly 3 assassins? Did that assassin just split into 3? Can you just momentarily take him out instead, please? In fact, knock him down, because he's potentially going to do some damage otherwise. That just fully took Aloth down. Okay, let's just take this one down, I think. I'm going to try using... Can I get both of them in that? Just about, I think. Okay. I'm going to do wounding shot on you, and I'd like her to do, I think, the same. You're not going to be able to... I can't hobble you, can I? Maybe. Let's just see. Let's get a hit on him so we can find out. See if we can knock him down before he does anything else. And actually, let's send our antelope in to assist with that. Barely injured, that assassin. Endurance up a little. These people apparently just don't care that I'm being attacked. How's he doing? Badly injured now, yes. Here, Dad. Scrawled note. Written on this scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you, including your name, your distinguishing features, and everyone you're known to have associated with in your brief time in Deerwood. The other one's going to be the same. Well, that was adventurous. And now let's continue to go to Copper Lane, because we've got something to hand in. Oh, bring Penhelm's Advocate to Curran. Bring it to Curran. We're going to go get some sleep at the Goose and Fox so that Aloth doesn't die if we meet another assassin. A pet! I didn't know that they sold pets. It's worth 150 copper. I want it. Yes. Okay. So we bought a dog. Okay, we've had a nice rest. We bought a puppy. And we can come and hand the quest in now. I've got no idea. Oh, there,
Greetings.
Show him the Advocate. Is this affidavit, real? It's signed by you. He holds the page but seems to stare through the words as if at something woven in the fabric of the paper. Cohen bares his pointed teeth. I remember Penhelm, a preening peacock of a man, his mouth dry and hands moist when I told him he was a sole descendant of an Iderian general, one who'd fought against Hadret's rebellion. Forgery, and not the first I've seen. He hands it back to you, but I've no time for the knights and their obsessions. Bring this to his commander, Cleaver, and show him the seal. He points to the wax stamped by his forged signature. If he compares it with another, he should be able to spot the difference. Alas glaze flickers to you. Doom a man for the soul the gods gave him? Seems rather unfair. I mean, I don't want to doom him for the soul the gods gave him, but at the same time, he got somebody else who had every right to be there and seems like a good person kicked out. So, although I would hate for him to be unfairly judged, I also don't want him to get away with being a horrible snitch. So, yeah. Okay, well, apparently we don't need to go there. Penhelm has come to us. Penhelm's face is white. Just talked to that little cipher, did you? One of my novitiates told me he'd seen someone in the records room. He takes a slow step toward you, extending his hand. Give me the affidavit. I've done nothing to you. His other hand comes to rest next to his sword. Okay, what does this mean to you? Your superiors deserve to know the truth. Cheer up, you always thought you were someone special. Soon everyone will know you are. But don't worry, I'm sure the knights will let you stay to scrub the latrines, or I can give it to him and say, you're right, take it. What does this mean to you? Are you serious? This is my career. I've laboured years for it, and it all hangs on some coincidence of a past life. Any dear wooden, rich or poor, can aspire to a position in the Crucible Knights. Anyone can rise to the rank of High Justice, except for those of us born with the wrong soul. Tell me how that's reasonable. I mean, that's very true, but at the same time, you stole somebody else's position. As much as he's making me feel sorry for him. In a way. But no, that's not true. I don't feel sorry for him. I just feel sorry for the situation, because I do think the knight system is unfair, but I also think that he is personally a terrible person who made horrible decisions and didn't care about other people, so your superiors deserve to know the truth. What truth? That over a century ago I was some Iderian who's dust in the ground now? His hand grips the sword pommel. I'll ask you one more time. Give that back. Don't be a fool, we're in public. Yeah. He looks at the novitiates with him, which is why everyone will be shocked to hear that you assaulted a company of Crucible Knights without provocation. Okay, I'm so glad I didn't give it to him. Including one with such a spotless record as mine. Okay. Let's see if we can get a wounding shot on him. And you need to be focusing on him.
It isn't a parlor trick. Besides, he doesn't take orders well.
Okay, Durance needs to be less in the middle of the fight than he is. You can move up a little. Around here.
She is back. Does it scare?
No, but I won't be responsible for what happens if you call her whore.
All of that time, there's just some banter going on between Durance and Alos. I'm really glad that I rested up at the inn first before we came and did this.
I'm here.
Okay, well, you attacked me, so I don't mind about stealing your stuff. We've got Osric's family breastplate, which has had its share of battle scars, but clearly been well preserved over the years and bears some of its original shine. Yep, again, let's just steal all of their stuff, because we can sell this at the inn. Oh, everyone leveled up, actually.
Certainly.
You've just stolen their clothes. Sorry.
I'm here.
But not really sorry, because you were all horrible. Okay, and we return victorious with the breastplate. I think we made the right decision there. I'm happy with that decision. Okay, we get to go and tell him that justice has been done. Is this the armor you wanted? Osric wavers a moment in disbelief. He looks at you, then back at the breastplate. He reaches for it slowly, as if expecting it to disappear before he can touch it. How did you manage this? Okay, and I give him both the affidavit and the breastplate. You were right about the affidavit. Unfortunately, Penhelm forced me into a fight. A shame it ended like that, but he's the lying weasel who started this. You did all I asked, and you are owed much. He withdraws a leather coin purse from his pocket and hands it to you. Stop by a Sonild's shop on the other side of the hall. She sells some of the best gear in the city, and I'll see that she opens her inventory to you. Oh, yay! What is this armor to you, anyway? Osric looks around, trying to appear casual. It's nothing really. Just a keepsake. It obviously means a lot to him. We got 2,000 copy for that, and plenty of experience. That was worthwhile. He tries to look you in the eye, but when he does, he appears to reconsider. He sighs. It commemorates the Order of Magran, highest order of valor, awarded to the dead, never the living. Us Deerwoodens, real Deerwoodens, we don't have nobility or birthrights, unless you're some... Well, we've got the honor we're bringing to our families now. Okay, so that's like the difference, I guess. Although in the Knights, it's kind of generally unfair that people don't get. They have to rise because they're Deerwooden. That's like the only version of that they have. The Order of Magran is, well, they don't give it out too much. Not often you see a member of the dozens whose revolutionary ties are as good as he says they are. So this, he pauses, considering the weathered metal, a pale image of its former self, but still catching the light, is something to live up to. Okay, so his ancestors were actually very very good. Okay, farewell. That was a good quest. Okay, and we are now allowed to buy stuff from here, so that was also very worthwhile. We need to level everybody up. That's going to be the next task. Level everyone up, see if we can get some good gear with our new money, change our pet to the cute dog, because I just want a cute dog to be running around with us. And we'll see if we can get a little bit more respect from the people of the city next time, so that we can finally get into the records room. Hopefully, maybe another couple of quests here before we can achieve that. I've really enjoyed getting back into Pillars of Eternity, so hopefully you're going to enjoy the new video, and it won't be so long until the next one. Bye!